Okay, Team Sky today have released all of Chris Froome's data from the Giro d'Italia. I understand why they've done it, but they could have done it much better way. The Vuelta is the tour in question. That would have been where a lot of the questions would have been asked. They've deliberately avoided the Vuelta, which means there's going to be more questions than answers, which doesn't help in their crusade for better PR. Obviously, this is in a direct response to what's happened in the last few days between the Tour de France organisers and the UCI, and him not being blocked from entering and now being cleared to enter and all that kind of stuff. That's been a very tricky spell for the sport, let alone the team. Team Sky are not winning any popularity contests, however. Fans aren't very popular on Team Sky for the most part. Team Sky riders are going to have a lot of backlash in this year's tour. Had Chris Froome not been there, I think the backlash is less. Chris Froome there's going to be a lot of negativity from fans towards Team Sky riders, especially Chris Froome. They have to expect that, they have to be aware of that. Fans booing is one thing. There have been obviously the instance of having urine thrown over them. That has happened before. So yes, there are issues that are going to be there, and the tour organisers have to be aware of that. Obviously, the last 2 years for Team Sky have been great with the Jiffy Bag controversy and all the way up to today. Unfortunately, whoever's in their press department isn't doing a very good job advising these people, because every press conference they seem very out of touch with the working class cycling fan, which is a lot of cycling fans, ironically. A lot of cycling fans are members of local cycling clubs, and they work 9 to 5 jobs, and they are amateur riders, and they enjoy riding as a social thing, and they also enjoy watching the Tour de France and the Giro and the Vuelta and the one-day classics. They seem very out of touch with some of the fan base. It doesn't help that Team Sky are one of the better funded teams in the peloton, so they can afford all these fancy nutritionists and personal doctors for riders and physiotherapists and bigger. They're one of the best funded teams. If this was a smaller team that had Chris Froome on it and these allegations have come up, it's an underdog story. It's trying to keep the small man down. That's an image. Sky does have an image issue where they're seen as the big boys. They seem to have all the money. They can afford the best riders. They can afford the best equipment. They can afford the best everything. Best team bus, best hotels, you name it, they can afford it. That doesn't sit well with some cycling fans either. The press conferences they released, they seem to have a sense of entitlement about them, where they're out of touch. This is where this is going to be a problem, releasing only Chris Froome's data. There will be those people who are asking for all his teammates' data from the Giro, and those teammates that are riding in this year's Tour de France. There will be those who will request or demand that his teammates who've ridden both in the Giro, who are riding at this race, release their data as well. And there will be demands that the Vuelta data be released. So this may have a negative consequence that Team Sky aren't expecting. There's going to be a lot more questions than I think they're willing to answer. That's my personal opinion on it. There have been threats of protest by riders on the first day of the tour. They haven't necessarily gone away. The Tour de France organisers have to be aware there's going to be a fan backlash, and it may be some really negative banners and then negative interactions between the fans and the riders as well. That's something that Team Sky are going to have to be aware of and prepare their riders for. Even those riders who may not, who may be more the sprinter, the climber, the team guy, the lesser known guys, they're going to get a lot of abuse that they're not expecting because of the jersey they wear. So this could be a very interesting tool, and this is, I think, left more questions than answers. Even though they've been fully transparent with Chris Froome's data, what about the rest of the team then? Yeah, that's going to be another question that journalists will ask, and they're going to keep asking. And I think Team Sky want to avoid that, and I think they may have opened a can of worms here with a lot of extra questions they're not expecting and a lot of extra issues to deal with. But there we go. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, place your comments below. I'll have some more videos for you soon.